Welcome, everyone, to Hammer Time on the USFL Network. This is the only show in the world dedicated to the black and gold maulers of the USFL. You can find this show and other shows like this on the YouTube channel of the USFL Network and USFLnetwork.com. I am joined. I've been waiting for this one, man. I like episode 2. I heard your name come out in the Horton interview. But Tyson Graham, what's going on, man?
What's going on, man? I appreciate you having me, man. It's an honor.
Yeah, man. Well, the first time I had Horton on, Little Horton, I guess we're calling it.
Yes.
I said, summarize the season. And that was like the first name that came off. He goes, well, we lost Tyson Graham in the first game. So what was the injury like?
Man, that injury is kind of crazy. It's, as bad as it sucked, when it happened, it kind of taught me a lot in that process. But I mean, going down in the first game within the first 2 drives, it was off a non-contact injury. It just kind of had me at a loss for words. I mean, especially with me wanting to play ball so bad and wanting to help the guys, man. But along the process of that, like, recovery, it just taught me about being patient. And, it allowed me later on to figure out, kind of what I wanted to do, once I'm officially done with football, and kind of get my path going with that a little bit and get some things going. But, man, it was tough, man. It was also tough mentally. Thankful I had the right people in my corner, to help me through that process. But we overcame it and we're back. So I'm excited, man.
So what was like the whole rehab process? Well, what exactly did you have to go through? And I know we could talk about this later, but you're coaching on the side and all that. Mm-hmm. How'd you balance all that?
Well, first off, like, once it really happened, I got my X-ray the next day. And then I had surgery immediately, probably, I want to say a week right after. So I ended up having surgery with Dr. Waldrop over at Birmingham place. And right after that, my mom had flew up to kind of help me, move around and, kind of get some things for me. And I want to say probably about 2 weeks, maybe a week or 2 after surgery, we ended up just coming right back down to Atlanta where I currently live at. And so we just ended up staying down here. And, once I was able to kind of, progress into getting into the boot and, moving from the boot into the different stages, I got enlisted over at Benchmark PT. And, they did a tremendous job. I mean, the training, it was very rigorous, but the amount of work that was put in and the staff over there was amazing. I probably was going maybe 2 to 3 times a week at first to kind of get, things much more rolling. And then after that, it started to taper down to 1 time a week and just trying to strengthen that thing back up as much as possible. And then eventually I got to the point where I was able to kind of just actually start back walking. I mean, it seems simple, but you'll be surprised how much you miss the little things with an injury like that, like showering, and walking, stretching your foot out, not having to have your foot, kind of held up in the cast, splintered all day. Just a simple thing. So we took another step, and I also went to my guy at Alliance Sports Medicine, Dr. Albanese, a good friend. He also helped me, with the process as well. I was kind of getting double recovery, going to him for recovery boots and kind of nerve muscle to kind of help that get triggered back. So just going with that, and then eventually I got back to, I got fully cleared, and I was back cutting and running, and I just been flying around ever since I got the green light. So it's been a blessing, man.
Nice. How'd you get back with the Maulers? Because I know they had to release you, or yep. I don't know, you're on injury reserve, but now you, as of last month, you are signed back with the Maulers. So
yes, sir. So I was kind of in talks with once the new GM transition with Lonnie and of course Coach Horton. We kind of been tapped in ever since that injury happened, even during the season. So like I told him, I said, once this thing gets back right, man, I'm trying to come back. And so from then I just kind of took my time and kind of built back up, got my training back and everything together. And then I told him once I fully got cleared, I was kind of updating him like, hey, just got cleared. I sent him a couple of videos of, me kind of moving and, letting them know that I'm back full speed. And, me and Lonnie had some conversations and, we kind of got the ball rolling from there with that. And, just fortunate enough for them to give me an opportunity to come back, and join the Maulers again. Because this is where I want to be. I want to be with the guys again. So I said, I'm just blessed, man.
That's awesome. Coach Horton was on last week, and he said he's going to put you on a weak side linebacker a little bit.
Yeah.
and not just a safety. What do you think? You're more of a safety or a weak side linebacker? I've read that you like to be in the box, but
I definitely I'll say at heart I'm probably a linebacker, to be completely honest. Just because I do like being in the box, I like being more closer to the action. I like dealing with pulling guards, hitting guards, and just being close. I feel like when I'm in the box, nothing to take away from when I'm back in the middle of the field, but I feel like when I'm in the box, I'm more active. I'm more able to get my hands on things. I like seeing what's going on. I like dealing with the trash and everything. So I have no problem with that. I actually love that, and I'm here to do whatever for the team, man. So I mean, he talked to me about it, about the different how he sees me and different things like that. So I'm actually really looking forward to actually getting to be much down there now, especially when I got guys like Bryce and Tart behind me. I mean, it sets up a great recipe. So,
well, it's not just Bryce and Tarp and you, but then you
mm-hmm.
got Xavier Lewis, who played for Horton down at Southeastern Louisiana.
Yep.
Burrell, like that safety room is loaded, really.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Most definitely.
And it's definitely one of the strengths on the defense coming
Yes,
back.
sir.
So, all right, man. So you're 100% healthy.
Yes, sir.
What should Mauler fans expect? I know we only got a half a quarter from you.
Yes, sir.
Last year, but what should we expect this year?
For me, you're getting a lot of physicality. I mean, I got a lot of emotions I just want to let out. Just playing ball, man. I've been held in for a year. I've been itching to get back out there. A lot of physicality, leadership, effort, every play. You're gonna see me all on different phases, whatever I can do to help the team, special teams, everywhere. Trying to be that leader, not only leading by example, but vocal if I have to be, and just being that physical presence. The hammer time. We're back in the black and gold. That has me riled up as well. I mean, it's like I said, simple. You're just gonna get physicality out of me. That's all I can. That's my trait, and that's what I pretty much like relying on my strength. So, just being a physical presence.
So you fit that Pittsburgh mold.
Definitely. Yes, sir.
Most definitely. Good to hear. Good to hear, man. So what do you expect out of camp is going to be different than Birmingham? Obviously it's in Canton, so it's a little different. What do you expect it to be different? Any differences you see, or?
I expect it to be maybe a tad bit different, just for the simple fact. I mean, year two they probably kind of tweaked maybe a couple of things out there. Realizing that this is our first season, and now we can see what different things we can improve on. But I know for the Maulers part, I think we'll probably pretty much be the same as far as like practice wise and everything like that. It's going to definitely be different now that it's just only 2 teams instead of 7 other teams. Yeah. In a smaller setting. I think if anything, the good thing is we got half of our team coming back. So I mean, we already have that bond, that that chemistry and everything like that. So this is going to be a time for us to continue to mold, and knit together, and just go have fun with it, man. I'm excited, to get back in the process of it, and ready to get the ball rolling.
You've been part of these processes a few times in the spring leagues and everything. Mm-hmm. What did you like about the USFL compared to the other ones? I know you played for Horton with the Legends and all that, but was there any difference between the USFL and the spring leagues and the AAF?
I want to say the USFL. I want to say just maybe the fan support. I know in the AAF playing down in Atlanta, it was fan support was okay, but maybe it goes along with the marketing. I mean, we're on Fox every week, so yeah. I mean that alone kind of says a lot, as far as the things that the league has kind of put forth in their their effort as far as putting their best players on the best platform. But I mean, man, I just like the way the promotion of how the league and how it's ran very organized. Daryl Johnson and the rest of the USFL team has done a great job. You just kind of, I want to say for the most part, most of the guys, we really don't have any worries about the league or anything, which allows us to more so just focus and go and play ball and not have to worry about the things that we really can't control. So that's one of the major parts.
Exactly. It's good that it's season 2, man. You
Yeah,
talked about how you guys are all coming back. Like, there's never been a spring league where
yeah,
the team's coming back. So
that is true.
the
This is the
football should
first
be
time.
better too.
Most
So,
definitely, most definitely.
all right, man. You ready for some fan questions?
Yes, sir.
All right. Fan question number 1. When did you fall in love with the game of football?
Uh, Fell in love with the game at 5 years old. Down in South Florida, my parents, most of my pops, got me involved in early. Started with flag football, and I want to say about 6 or 7, I was playing tackle football. And man, like I said, from there, uh, I just fell in love with it more and more. And I used to watch the NFL games, the Miami Dolphins back at the time. Growing up, and I always used to say I want to be one of those guys on TV. And a lot of hard work and dedication went into it. Of course, getting to where you want to be. And ever since then at 5, I just kind of just took it. What's crazy was I was playing baseball. I really love baseball as well, but football just took a hold of me, so I just kind of rolled with it.
Growing up a Dolphins fan, who's your favorite player?
I want to say Ricky Williams.
Okay.
Ricky was a fan favorite back then. Ricky Williams, Zach Thomas, and Jason Taylor. Those
Yes.
those 3 guys were the kind of
Yeah.
the mold back then for the Dolphins. So,
All right. Question number 2. What is one game in your football life that you wish you could change the outcome?
man, this is a tough slot of games. Uh, I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back to college, man. When we played with Oregon Ducks, we played Mariota. I think it was a senior year. We lost 62-13. I would definitely change that outcome, just for the simple fact I would have loved to pull the upset.
Wow, man.
Yeah,
Usually
although
when
no
people,
one probably would have believed it, I would have loved to pull the upset on the Oregon Ducks because I believe that was the year they won the championship. I'm not exactly sure, but I think it was that
yeah,
2014 year. But I would have just loved to pull the upset.
he won the Heisman that year, I think,
Yeah,
right?
he won the
Yeah,
Heisman that year. Yep.
yeah.
So,
They lost to like Florida State or something, right?
yep, Florida
Yeah,
State. Yep, I think it
yeah.
was at was that in California?
Yeah, Winston's right.
Yep.
Yeah, it
Yep.
was Winston. But usually when people pick answers like this, it's like one they lost by 1 point. You said 62-13, man.
I want to have that one back.
Fair enough.
Bad.
Fair enough. Question number 3: Who's your biggest supporter?
Oh, my family.
Okay.
Family. I mean, like I said, they've been there for me since day one. And like I said, um, good or bad, they've always had my back in my corner. No matter how old I get, I can still call on my family, my parents, um, and they won't hesitate at all to pick up. Like I said, especially dealing with an injury like this, with a tough injury like an Achilles injury, you're gonna need like a support system to help you get by with those tough days, and so I really relied on them during this whole process, and thankful for them.
Talking about that, they had to support you in South Dakota, man. I
Yeah.
like out of South Florida to South Dakota. Please, like, how did you get used to those winters?
Uh, Man, let me tell you, I still think about that to myself. I don't even know how I got used to it. I mean, the weather was below 0 degrees. There was wind chills. I had to walk the class backwards a couple times. The black ice.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is they used to fly up literally every week for the game. But the airport, we had no airport in the city of Vermilion. So the airports were like in Sioux City, Iowa, and Sioux Falls, which is about an hour away, and then you have Sioux City, which is about 45 minutes away from us. So you would have to fly into one of those airports and then drive 45 minutes to an hour just to get to my school. And man, they used to take that flight pretty much every home game, or they would take the flights even if we had no away games. They would just fly to that city. But I mean, getting used to that weather.
Yeah.
Even my freshman year, it was pretty tough. I stayed in class. I stayed in our dorm room a lot. I want to say that spring semester once it really got cold.
That's crazy. Like I grew up in New England, but that Dakota cold just seems completely
Oh
different with
no,
that wind chill.
it's different, and they don't cancel class.
Yeah, yeah,
They don't cancel class.
yeah. So how'd you end up at South Dakota? What made you choose to go to Vermilion, South Dakota?
I want to say I ended up transferring my last 2 years of high school over to Highlands, and then my recruitment process kind of got started late with the change. I want to say at South Dakota they had just hired Kelton Copeland, the receiver coach, and he was in charge of recruiting the down south area. And so he, I actually went as a receiver. He was a receiver coach. He ended up calling me, and was like, "Hey, I found your tape, and I want to get you offer this, University of South Dakota." Mind you, I never went on a plane before, so when I went up on my visit, that was my first time actually being on a plane. Um, and of course, I was visiting South Dakota for my official visit. So offered me as a receiver, and it just took off from there. And he actually ended up leaving and going to Iowa the next year. So I probably had about 3 or 4 different coaches in my college career.
Well, at college, you switched from wide receiver to safety. What was the reason for that? Why
I
did
want to
you?
say when I first got there, I think they were kind of looking for me to be a starter. Um, Physically, I was there. Mentally, I wasn't there. Um, and so I ended up losing my spot my red shirt freshman year, and it happens to be I'm still really good friends with this guy, the receiver who actually took over, and so I was strictly on special teams at that point, and but I also was very dedicated to special teams and I was making plays on special teams, but I also was planning on probably thinking about maybe transferring, going to JUCO route, and then trying to get back, at that next level to
Yeah.
transferring over to the defensive side. But I ended up having to talk to my DC at the time, Jason Petrino, who's now the DC for North Dakota State. And he ended up bringing me over to the defensive side. And, man, I played safety. And my first game starting at safety was against Oregon. And I had 9 tackles. That game led the whole team in tackles. And from there, like I said, it just took off.
That's great. So after college, you get a shot with the Colts and the Falcons.
Yes, sir.
What was camp like to go from Vermilion, South Dakota, FCS level, to all of a sudden now you're playing with Matt Ryan and Julio Jones?
Oh, man, it was the change is more. I want to say the biggest thing was it was more so the change of pace. I mean, now I'm playing at a much more. The game is much more faster. I mean, everybody's. It's really not much more physical. Wise. It's much more how much you know. It's much more. So you have to rely much more on your mental because everyone is kind of, like I said, everyone's a super athlete now. Guys are. They really have an understanding of the game, a true understanding of the game. Guys know where to sit at in zone. Quarterbacks know how to literally read defenses, no matter which way you try to rotate or, try to disguise, and vice versa on defense. Guys are picking techniques and everything. So, going from Indy to that situation, my first time being on the fly, like I said, it was very fast paced. Like I had to jump in, I had to learn, um, and then going there from Atlanta. I actually really loved Atlanta. Dan Quinn brought a tremendous culture there. Much more, it was a player-led group, player-led team. That's what he wanted, and it was kind of much more of a relaxing. He brought a relaxing culture there, which kind of just made us, easier, want to show up to work and play ball. So, like I said, just seeing those guys, Julio, Calvin Ridley, all those guys out there, matching up against those guys every day. I mean, they got me better, but also, like I said, being around veterans like Keanu Neal, Ricardo Allen, Desmond Trufant, Rika Offer, all those guys, taking different things from their game as far as how to prepare like a pro. It also helped me. I kept some of those things, and those things help me to this day as far as different things that I do in the way to approach the game.
Awesome. When you end up in the AAF and you play for Horton, you're leading the league in tackles, and then the league kind of gets ripped out from underneath you. What was that like?
It was a shock, man. I mean, we just came from, I want to say, we were just having a walkthrough probably like 3 minutes ago, and people were saying the league shut down. But nowhere, of course, no one really paid attention. They just thought, it was some kind of hoax. But I mean, we ended up going inside and we ended up having a meeting, and they said that the league ended up shutting down. So, like I said, it was a tremendous shock because just the way how everything went down. Some guys were scrambling trying to find their way homes to be, because they weren't from there, so they had to find a way to, get across the states or whatnot. But just having the game stripped away from me like that fast, it was just kind of crazy, man. And like I said, I was just trying to continue to put some good tape out there, and hopefully see where it goes from there. I did take a visit to Pittsburgh, to the Steelers after that. So, I mean, I just was trying to just keep playing ball with the guys, man. But
Well, this coaching staff that you're playing for right now has a lot of strong connections to the Steelers.
Yeah, a lot of.
Ray Kirby was there. Jaron,
Yep.
grew up there. The
Yep.
defensive back coach, Steve Meyer, he
Yep.
was an assistant there. Just Mark Hole internship there. Like the whole staff. Like there's a lot of Pittsburgh ties to the
Oh
staff.
yeah.
So do you end up in Atlanta because of your time with the Atlanta Legends, or were you deciding to move there anyway?
Oh, what's crazy is I always wanted to move to Atlanta, and I want to say this is a crazy story. I had planned on moving to Atlanta at some point in my life, especially after the Indy. Um, this is when because right after Indy, I ended up moving back to South Florida. So I want to say me and a couple of my friends, we ended up taking a visit to Atlanta. I want to say in January, and I want to say in April is when I got a call to get picked up by the Falcons, and so that kind of expedited my process, and I just kind of seen it as things happen for a reason. So ever since that situation, I just decided to stay in Atlanta. I mean, cost of living was kind of way cheaper than what it is down in South Florida, and I mean, I was kind of already set and established myself as far as just being here for those that time frame. So I just decided to stay, and then um, from there, like I said, I felt like I wasn't too far away from home, but I'm still kind of close to home in a sense.
Yeah.
And I mean, so I just decided to stay and um, just kind of make this home.
So you've made it home, and now you're coaching high school football.
Yep.
In the you were North Atlanta, right?
Yes, sir.
6A, right?
Yep.
Do you guys got any good recruits coming up?
Oh, we definitely got a lot of good recruits. My 2024 class is going to be a great class. I got a couple DBs who are really good. I got Darius Malcolm in corner, physical corner, who I'm trying to get pushed out. His film get pushed out, and a two-sport athlete, Zayden Benson, who's a safety who might get drafted for baseball, depending on how he finishes out this season. And then my 25 class, I got a couple young studs who've already picked up a couple major FBS offers. So I got a good group, man, who I can build off of, and it's just crazy how you being able to play the game and now being able to try to coach the game, to the youth or to the younger generation. You just look at it a completely different way. Like now, I see why my coaches get on you a certain way now at this level, because you kind of translate it when you're trying to coach your players how, important technique and, alignment and assignment is. So this first year helped me, kind of understand that. And it kind of helped me become a better player as well, because I kind of seen the game from a different way. My DC is a very good guy. He allowed me to kind of get some free range, as far as, helping with the play call. I bring who I want, to start. And I kind of seen the game from a box. I never really seen the game from the box before. Kind of seen it from the box. I usually have the headsets on. I have, some control and, suggesting plays, coverages. He comes to me for different ideas. So, I mean, I just ended up being part of a great staff. And then my head coach, Coach All just kind of, give me the opportunity to, be a part of something special. It's just kind of, worked in my favor, to be honest.
I think I know Atlanta gets kind of credit for being big in high school sports, but I think it kind of is slept on too at the same time nationally, because like where you guys are playing up there, and I told you before show, like I'm down in South Georgia, we're in the same classification, but it's a different world up there.
Right.
It doesn't matter what, and I think it needs more credit, even though it gets a lot, and I know there's a lot of recruits that come there, but I think it needs to be higher up on the list and a little bit more notice to it.
No, most definitely. Just because, to be completely honest with you, I thought Florida, of course, just me being biased, I thought Florida had the best athletes hand down. But I must say, after this year and just over the years training a couple of athletes, Georgia is the talent here is crazy. I mean, even with the Bufords, the Mill Creeks, the Langston Hughes, the Westlanes, even the Marist, the private schools, like these schools are loaded. Houston County, like these schools have got some great talent.
They definitely do. And the thing that I like looking at is that we've got a great state school. I'm not a Georgia Bulldog fan, but those kids, I grew up in New England. Like if you wanted to play, like the only players that came from Connecticut during my time was Aaron Hernandez. You know what I mean? Like I only had one guy. It was one guy. But like here, like my local school, 3 kids committed D1. Like
Wow.
that was more than what the whole state of Connecticut got. So like
Yeah.
it's just a different world, man. I really appreciate it. But you see yourself as a high school head coach one day? Is that a long term goal?
Uh, I see myself either as a high school DC or a position coach in college, a DB
Okay.
coach in college. Man, that head coach, just being around my head coach, seeing what all he has to go through, man, that comes with a lot of responsibility, man.
Yeah.
And I'm the guy. I just want to kind of just sit in the back and just, just do my part. But I'll definitely see myself as a position coach, DB position coach, and it's like I said in college or in high school or DC in high school as well.
Yeah, the only thing with college is all that recruiting now.
Yeah,
It's a different world now.
it's
I know it happens at a small level in high school sometimes, but like
yeah.
it's a different world now. Like they can transfer anytime. It's just crazy. So
Yeah, it's no, the recruitment process is definitely crazy. I mean, it is a lot of traveling too, as far as being a college coach. I mean, you're always on the road here and there, and so
yeah. All right, man. You ready to drop the hammer? Some
yes,
non-football
sir.
questions. All right. All right. 4 questions, non-football related. Ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. We're opening up. You're opening up a nightclub. What's the name of the nightclub?
TGs.
TG's. All right. All right. Is it any other names outside of your
No,
initial?
just that one.
Okay.
That's
All
gonna
right.
stick out to them. They gonna want to know.
All right. We're making the Tyson Graham movie. Who's the leading actor? Who's playing Tyson Graham?
I gotta say, my boy Quincy Mojay. He used to play for Georgia, and they say we kind of look alike. I mean, I really don't see it, but the amount of people have said it, you would kind of think that we do.
All right. All right. A lot of the receivers were saying Michael B. Jordan. So as long as you didn't go with Michael B. Jordan,
Oh
like
yeah, no,
I'm
no.
good. I'm good. All right. Dream job outside of football. You can't have a football related job. What would be your dream job? I know that's tough.
I want to say I'll be a top realtor.
All right.
Top realtor.
And any have you dabbled in real estate at all yet or
I
not
did a
yet?
little bit. I was dabbling in with that between that and my coaching, and then my coaching just kind of just took off. So I kind of had to put the realtor, like test and everything on the back burner. Man, I think I'll make a killing in that.
That
Especially like with the connections and everything that I know, and just kind of, being able to talk to people and kind of being a salesperson. I'll just be able to kind of, you know,
all right.
help people.
So it's a Pittsburgh show.
Mm-hmm.
Mac Miller or Wiz Khalifa?
Wiz.
Wow. You said that real quick. Like some of
It's
them.
I think it's because when I grew up, especially high school, back and forth, we were playing Wiz all day. Like even at the parties, just black and yellow, or Wiz just kind of us. I mean, with the cargos, the chucks and everything, and he made it with the tattoos in my whole body. Like it was just we just grew up off Wiz very tough.
Well, so I've asked everyone, and almost all the players say Wiz except like 2, but all the coaches say Mac Miller.
Wow, I'm surprised none of them said Wiz.
Yeah, Hull and Horton. Even Tomlinson said the OC said he didn't know either of them. Really.
I can see that.
But all the players say Wiz outside of I think Trey Walker. I think he might have been maybe Isaiah Henny, but everyone else said Wiz Khalifa.
Everybody said Wiz.
Yeah, so
Wiz, man. We got to come out to that black and yellow or something.
Yeah, well, something will go on at Canton. I just hope the fans travel from Pittsburgh and you guys get a packed house, or at least close to a packed house in Canton.
I'm hoping, man.
Yeah,
I'm hoping.
Have you ever been up to the Hall of Fame?
I haven't.
Neither.
So it's going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, definitely. All right, man. Well, we've reached the end zone. This is kind of your time to shine. You can any message you want to send out, anything you're promoting, a message to Mauler Nation, family, whatever. The time is yours, man.
I'm just ready to get to work, man. It's simple. I appreciate all the support that I did get from Mauler Nation during my time. When I was there, even before the injury and during the injury and everything like that. I appreciate you for always checking in, and like I said, I'm just ready to get to work. We got another they will report next week, so Yeah, man, this is gonna be fun, man. We back playing some football, so I'm just ready to get back with the guys, man.
You planning to stay in a hotel the entire time, or are you gonna get a spot?
I'm still working on that.
I think you get the hotel during camp, right?
Yeah, we get the hotel during camp, and then of course, got to get them up out of there once camp breaks. So it's almost kind of like we gotta almost have it. You gotta have your plans figured out already because I mean, camp. I feel like camp is gonna fly by.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I said, it'll be time to make a decision before you know it. So.
It's crazy. It's already here.
Yeah, it is. It came here fast too.
I was like anticipating it like up through Christmas. I was like, oh, it's still a couple months away. And now these last 2 months have flown by. So.
No, flown by.
And especially the big news, you coming back, man.
Yes, sir, man.
Like honestly, the Maulers have controlled the offseason. You got Reuben Foster, you got Reuben Foster, Bailey Gaither, most of the guys coming back, and then Tyson Graham coming back at the end. Which, like I said, the first episode that was the first thing Horton said. I said summarize the season. He said Tyson Graham got hurt. That was the first sentence. Not they went 1-9. Nothing. You go back and watch the show. So
I got tremendous respect for Horton, man. I respect Horton tremendously, man. Horton's a great guy. On the field, but off the field as well. Like Hort actually is a coach who cares about his players, and he shows it to every player. I'm pretty sure every player can attest for that.
Yeah, I've never heard a bad word from any of the Maulers. So
no, he's a favorite. He's a favorite for sure.
Have you talked to Ray yet?
I haven't. I haven't talked to him. Not yet. Probably talk to him as soon as I get up there, though.
All right, man. Well, thank you for coming on. I know we've been touching base for a while now. I've been waiting for the clearance. Like I wanted you back ever since he mentioned you, and I went to, and I was like, man, he really digs this guy. So I looked at the tape, and I'm like, man, this could be something special. So I'm a big fan, and I appreciate you coming on, man.
No, I appreciate you having me, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Have a good night.
You too.